all that strange to you? You have a little more experience, particularly spending a little time in England.
Well, yeah. Yeah, as far as it being crazy, everything that I did in London was just like, hey, do whatever you want, you know? And so coming to this, I was just kind of like, oh, great. Like, I read the script. I thought it was hilarious. I thought it was great. And I just kind of saw Sydney exactly, because she's really just like an exaggeration of all the worst parts of me. Like, really, you know? Like, completely. And so I was really excited to come to it, especially after this past year, because when I was in London, I took a stand-up comedy class. And in that class, I not only got to perform, but I also learned all of the different types of comedy. We watched British comedy and American comedy, and some other ones, whatever. But, and so I kind of got to think about, well, what can I bring that I've learned to the character and different things like that. And, but as far as, like, the development of the show along the way, I was definitely surprised at how much I really needed to work and think about all of the monologues and all of the, relationships with everyone else and how specific everything had to be. I just kind of thought, well, I'll just go and anything will go, anything I do will be like, all right, well, we'll just work with it and I'll go with it. But I actually had to make everything precise, which for me is not as easy because I usually like to just,
let it fly.
Let it fly.
Can I make a small comment?
Yeah, sure.
Speaking of stand-up comedy, I actually watch a lot of stand-up comedy, and a lot of my choices as Lance were based off of stand-up comedians.
Yeah.
And that's an easy choice to make in this show, because you can see a certain way that this show, because it has such a fast-paced farce and humor, would lend itself well to the talents of stand-up comics. The show has a sort of also a political message, a political leaning message, and these characters go through this whole thing, and then at the end they all of a sudden turn very dark. What was your talk a little bit about your response to that kind of work, that kind of effort? Anything in particular you wanna mention about that?
Turning it into something dark?
Yeah, or talking about the political overtones of the show. Yeah.
Well, the political overtones. That. I feel like the play kind of does it itself. If the characters it does it itself. But that was something that I particularly loved about the play, because it really makes this statement that I see. But then I sound like one of them when I'm like, I'm really interested in this, and I think everyone should. But it's true for me personally. I really think that more people our age need to be more involved and less about their Facebook statuses and saying, oh, well, I was here because, and you should all be jealous. People should be doing things more because they want to do them and they think that there's an actual purpose to that. And so I was really glad that we were able to present this to people on our campus and hopefully some people thought about it.
But a little bit about, the fact that their sloganeering is maybe a little bit hollow. Maybe they ought to get out and do something.
Exactly.
Yeah, I mean, there isn't really a whole lot of actual, like, political things that they say. Most of the stuff that I was worried about, I guess, was the politically incorrect things to say, like talking about black people and things like that. But, like, I am one of those students that I don't pay a lot of attention to the news and everything, and I realize that I do play the ignorance is bliss card a lot, but getting to know, especially with my character Sybil, they do all these things and they don't really. It's not like they really care about that. They do it. It's like, remember how we you were saying people are wearing purple today, but it's not doing anything.
Right.
Yes, it's nice to show that we're unified and everything, but it's not doing anything. And I think that's what some people forget, is that they can say that they're, oh, I'm right-wing, or oh, I'm left-wing, whatever, but, like, you don't, so most of the time they're just taking ideas of other people's and saying them, like
reposting what's on Facebook.
Yeah,
Post
like, and it's not really, it's not even your own
cancer
ideas.
research.
Yeah, it's not even your own ideas. It's someone else's ideas, and then, but then there's the difference. I think it helps. This is a show that I hope that everyone of all genres of politics, whatever, can sit down and watch and just laugh at themselves about, because seeing as I don't really have any side to choose, because I'm just kind of like in the middle, I don't really want to get involved with that. I feel like it's people revolve their lives around it too much, but I feel like it'd be nice to have people come watch the show and not get offended, not get up and walk out because we're saying something offensive, but go, you know what, that's kind of true. That's what this show is for, I think.
Oh, good. Okay. How about each one of you giving me, let's say, to wrap this one up, one thing you really, really like about your character? Anything? And you think the audience will pick up?
About the character?
Yeah, about
that
your
the
character.
audience would pick up?
Yeah, what's one thing you really, really like about your character, playing your character, that the audience is going to pick up on?
She's just fabulous. She's just fabulous, you know? Everything she does is just fabulous, and she's so into herself. I think it's so much fun to be able to be completely narcissistic without any shame at all. I just love it.
Okay.
I just love it. She's
absolutely fabulous.
absolutely fabulous, which was part of my inspiration.
Yeah, that British sitcom, very funny. Yeah, Daniel.
I think I kind of traveled back in time with Lance, because I think Lance is me in my freshman year of high school. I think Lance is me my freshman year of high school. I was just that.
A gay prostitute?
Not prostitution. Well, no.
The gay part wasn't.
I'm just kidding.
Well, that's
Please
a
keep going.
story for another day. Anyway, but I was kind of like Lance in the sense of humor, I guess, in mannerisms and style. I would say, like back in high school, I would wear baggy pants, and I remember this one time I got a design in my head. There was a whole bunch of crazy things going on, but it was nice to go back to that place.
I just want to point out, you are actually still wearing a gold chain.
Yeah.
Oh.
And baggy
baggy
pants.
And he is Lance.
He is still Lance.
Okay.
And Madison is a lesbian.
Well, we love him. All right, and Madison, Sybil.
I think my favorite part about Sybil is she forgets everything. I mean, it's not. Sometimes I feel like it happens so spread out over the show that I'm not sure if people recognize that I keep saying, I can't remember.
Right.
But like, I think it's just so funny how nothing's good enough the first time she does it. Like, and it's just her mind is just so too many places. It's wired on too many different things, and that's why she can't remember anything, and that's why she can't ever get anything done. And I think that's just hilarious. It's funny to watch someone else struggle like that.
It is, because we all struggle at that at one point in time, especially if you're me. Well, thanks very much for coming in. Appreciate the time. The Altruists still playing at SUNY Fredonia. It will play Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. That's November 11th, 12th, and 13th, 8 o'clock each night. Tickets are available at www.fredonia.edu/tickets. 716-673-3501 is the box office number. Thanks again for coming in, guys.
It's a sexy time.